Hello VC, what's going on? It's Will, and I am back with a new episode of 7-inch single update. And yes, I'm taking a quick break from some of the album reviews videos that I have been doing lately, just to catch up in some 45s that I haven't showed you before. And most of these are from our pickups from a record show that they had here in Atlanta a few months ago in September, and they also had one last week. So most of them are from those record shows, and some of them are from pickups from either concerts or from online. So let's go ahead and check it out, and let's get started with a band that I've been talking about a lot lately. This one is The Kills with their single for Doing It to Death, and this one just came out a few months ago in 2016 on Domino Recordings. And you heard me talk about this band before in one of my past videos. I reviewed their new album Ash and Eyes. Very highly recommended to pick up this album. This song is one of the best ones in the album, so I get also a highly recommended single. What's cool is that it came in with the same kind of style of gold, embossed gold design for the single, same as the album, and also for the letters and for the credits in the back. Very cool packaging. I picked this one up when I went to see them at the show just a few months ago here in Atlanta, and apparently it's supposed to be like a tour single that they're supposed to only sell it on the tour, but I'm not really sure if that's true or not. That's what they told me when I bought it, and from what I saw online, it is limited to 1,000 copies, so very cool to have. And it's on regular black vinyl with the custom labels. And what's really cool is that it's a single-sided single, so you have the song in this side, in side A, and in the B side you get like an etched design. I don't know if you can see it very clearly there, but it's basically some dice, similar as in the design as in the label, but throughout the actual wax. Very cool looking. Right there, I think you can kind of see it there. So a very cool idea. Definitely glad to add it to my 45 collection, especially since I like the album so much, and the song is just fantastic. Actually, let's go ahead and check out a short clip from that song by The Kills. This one is Doing It to Death. Alright, so that was The Kills, and if you like that song, please go ahead and check out the video review that I did for the full album Ash and Eyes. I'll put a link here in the description so you can go ahead and check it out. Alright, up next is a local band from here in Atlanta that I've been really enjoying their newest releases, so when I saw this one in the record store I had to pick it up. This one is the Coathangers with their, it's kind of like a single / EP. Yeah, it's titled the Earl Live Series #2. And this one came out in 2010, and it's not on the label. Apparently, I think it was released by the Earl itself, which is the Earl is actually the name of a local venue here in Atlanta that they play a lot of like indie and punk shows, kind of like underground punk and indie rock. Very small venue. Highly recommended if you're ever in town to go check it out, to check out the shows there, because they're usually very good, and it's a small place, and you can get very close to the band. So it's highly recommended if you want to check out a cool show in Atlanta. And there it is. The Earl is actually, it stands for East Atlanta Restaurant and Lounge. And in the back you get like the logo of the Earl. So it seems like it was released by the Earl more than the actual Coathangers. But it's very cool. It came in with a little postcard that came in with the actual download of the song, and it didn't even have like a password or anything. You just go to the website and you can download it. I'll put a link here in the description so you can go ahead and check out the songs if you want to. I don't think they will have a problem with people downloading it. I hope not, at least. But it is 2 songs recorded live, and it came in this of course at the Earl, and it came in this really nice looking kind of like light blue vinyl with the monkey of the logo of the Earl in the labels, and the other side you get a small star, kind of custom labels. And the vinyl itself looks awesome. It doesn't sound that good though. The music is good, of course, but there's a lot of surface noise, and I was just it doesn't bother that much because the coat hanger is actually very loud, so you can't barely even notice it that it's kind of noisy as far as the surface noise. But I wasn't very impressed with the pressing, but it was still very cool to have because the songs are awesome. The coat hangers play like a very different style, and I guess a very unique style of punk rock with they like to combine a lot of different kind of instruments, even though they're just a trio. I think they're actually 4 members now, but I could be wrong about that. Great band, highly recommended if you want to check out a cool local band from here in Atlanta. They play a lot of shows, so if you're ever in town and you get a chance to see the Coathangers, don't miss them because they're great. Let's actually go ahead and check out a short clip from one of the songs from this single. This one's called Hate Raid. Let's check it out. Alright, so up next I have 4 singles by 3 bands that were fairly popular back in the 90s. The 4 of these are pickups from a record show that they had here in Atlanta, I think in September or October, I can't remember. But I picked up a ton of 45s that day, and these are 4 of them. I still have a few more to show you, but I'm gonna have to save those for the next 7-inch single update because it's too many actually. So let's go ahead and get started. This one is Veruca Salt, classic alternative rock band from the 90s with their song, this one is called Number One Blind. It's actually one of my favorite songs by Veruca Salt, and I've never seen this single before, so I was happy to find it and to buy it. This one came out in 1995 on High Rise Recordings. And there's the back, some credits and titles of the songs. Very cool single. Number One Blind is one of my favorite songs by Veruca Salt, and probably one of my favorite songs from the 90s. And the B-side is a really cool version, or a cover song of Bodies, originally done by the Sex Pistols. They make it very differently compared to the original. It's a little kind of like a slower version of the song, but it sounds awesome, and I've never heard it before. I don't know if it was released in a B-side compilation by Veruca Salt, but it's a must-have, I think, for any fans, for any fan of the band. And it came in this really nice green vinyl with those type of kind of like a printed labels that I've shown before. I can never remember how they're called. It's kind of like a transparent green as well, but it looks really cool. It is an import, I think, from the UK. There you go, really nice looking green vinyl. I'm glad to add it to my collection of 45s because I didn't have any by Veruca Salt before, so glad to add it to my collection. Alright, up next, another single by Veruca Salt. Yes, I picked up 2 by them, and this one is called Cedar. This is probably their most famous song, backed with All Hail Me, both songs from the classic album American Thighs. And this one came out in 1994 on Scared Hitless Records. Very cool looking single. Get some pictures of the band right there. And like I said, both of the songs are from the album. 2 great songs. The whole album is just nearly perfect, and if you haven't listened to Veruca Salt, you're missing out because it's just a fantastic band, especially the stuff that they released back in the mid-90s. And this one also came in on color vinyl, great looking orange, with the same type of labels, kind of like the printed labels, and that I think they used a lot during when they were making singles for jukeboxes. And the other side comes in with the Scared Hitless logo with a fish. Very cool looking there. Again, another one that I'm very happy to add to the collection because I didn't have any singles by Veruca Salt. Now I have 2. Alright, up next, and I'll put a link here in the description too, so you can go ahead and check out those songs. I didn't want to include them in the video because it will make the video too long, and I think a lot of the people, or at least a lot of my followers or my subscribers, will have heard those 2 songs by Veruca Salt. Up next, I also picked up a single by This one is another classic alternative rock band, Throwing Muses. And this one is their single called Counting Backwards. And this one came out in 1991 on 4AD Records, the classic alternative rock or college rock label. Very cool artwork. I did have this one on CD single for a long time, but I wanted to have it on vinyl, even though the vinyl version only comes with 2 songs. The CD single actually comes in with, I think, with 4 or 5 songs, which is even better. But still cool to have on 45s. I think it's more collectible. The B-side here is a song called Amazing Grace, which is Amazing Grace, the traditional folk song. They put on kind of like a little bit of on their own style, but I still make it a little bit on the kind of like a twangy kind of country kind of sound that ends up sounding amazing. And everything that Muses does, in my opinion, is great, and they did a great job in that cover. And this one came in on just standard black vinyl with the custom labels. A very cool single to have and to add it to the collection as well. And let's actually go ahead and check out a short clip from Throwing Muses. This one's called Counting Backwards. Alright, and last but not least, I also picked up a single by Sonic Youth. And this one is probably their most popular song, called Cool Thing with a K, out of a huge album called Goo, as you can see here in the back. And this single came out in 1990 on DGC Records. This was perhaps when Sonic Youth was in their peak of their careers, and like I said before, a classic song by them. It's perhaps one of my favorite songs by them. And this kind of singles are very hard to find, at least for me here in the US, because most of them are imports, and you rarely see them. So I was glad to find this one, especially in such a great condition. It almost looks like it's new. And the vinyl itself came in on standard black vinyl with the DGC record labels. And what's very cool about this single is that the B-side, which is a song that I've never heard before, even though I'm a big Sonic Youth fan, and I have most of the records, but I've never heard this song before. It's a song called That's All I Know Right Now, which based on my research is a cover song originally done by the Neon Boys. And it's very cool because you rarely see or you rarely hear any Sonic Youth kind of balls out punk rock songs, and they stay very close to the original, I believe, and they go crazy punk rock, and it's very refreshing to hear them play those kind of songs because it's one of those things that they didn't do later on in their career. So very cool to have it in my collection and to listen to that song. And surprisingly, it wasn't a song that was included in their B-side compilation, so I was glad to add it to the collection and to be able to listen to it, because as far as I know, I don't know if it was released in any other kind of compilation or any other record in general. So yeah, very cool to add this one to the collection. Again, Sonic Youth with Cool Thing. And again, VC, thank you for watching. Again, I'll put a link here in the description to a few songs and to my review of the Kills album. And stay tuned for more album reviews and for more updates. And thanks for watching, VC, and take care. Bye bye.